Hey crazy friends, it's Jay and Francis with Find Your Crazy, back with you again this week. We're just trying to keep you safe from COVID, so we're just wearing our masks to make sure that we're keeping a good social distance from you guys. Nah, that's not true. Actually, today we're going to talk about camping and COVID. We've been out for the last 5 months, really through the entire COVID spectrum, and we get questions all the time. How is it? What are you doing? Should we go? And today we're going to answer those top COVID questions and give our advice on that. So that's right. Today we're going to talk about COVID and camping. Being out in an RV in the middle of all the ups and downs of COVID, we've been doing it for 5 months. We actually launched out literally just a few weeks before COVID hit. So we have literally been out there through the entire spectrum of this full-time camping the entire time. Now, for once things really locked down there at the beginning, we did shelter in place at a campsite for about 2 months, 56 days. And then after that, we started traveling again. And so for the last really almost 3 months, we have been out there traveling just like we normally would, and so we have had a great experience. Visiting, seeing sights, seeing some national parks. So we've really done a lot, and so we do get that question a ton: is how is it out there? How is COVID affecting things? And so we thought we would just make a video this week and kind of give you kind of really our top 5 advice for going camping, RVing during COVID, whether that's full-time, part-time, weekend, week-long, whatever that is, summer vacation, whatever that looks like. Just giving you things that have helped us, and hopefully those will help. So our number one is go. Don't let fear stop you from going out and going camping, going RVing during COVID. We have seen nothing in our travels that would say you shouldn't be out there. Everything, the campgrounds are really almost all back opened up again. We have had zero problems.
And many of the places, even around the campgrounds, the national parks and some things like that, are opening back up. So we've really been blessed in that part for sure.
So really, we kind of feel like in some ways RVing is really like the perfect COVID family activity, because you are self-contained. You know, I mean, you pack up your RV, you go. Normally, you're cooking there on the campsite, you're grilling out. You're not really going to a lot of restaurants.
You have your own bathroom. room.
And you can really adjust it to how comfortable your family is. Like if you really don't want to be around anybody, you can go boondock.
That's right.
You can find a place where you can just be out literally by yourself,
That's right.
nobody else in sight. So what we would say first and foremost is definitely go. Don't let fear stop you.
But
go.
Be cautious. Be cautious because the reason we're making this video really honestly is because we've come face to face with COVID this very week. And so we have been at this campground for a while. We have been here and are going to be here for a little while. And we're preparing for the wedding of our daughter in just less than 2 weeks. But we have been here and we've been here for 3 weeks so far. So we're really not traveling around. We're not tooling around place to place. We've been settled in one place. We're feeling pretty comfortable here, except about 5 days ago. Jay was working outside on some camper renos that he was doing, and the manager came up to us and said, hey, we need to let you know that we've had several cases of confirmed COVID in our campground.
Right, in the campground.
That was really hard, I'll be honest. That was probably one of our hardest days.
So that was the first time that we had really come
anywhere close to
COVID. Up until then, it had really been kind of a thing on TV, and so we hadn't really had to worry about it. And so
this kind of came to our front door.
And so that's the but.
Yeah, be cautious.
All right, so number 2. Once you have decided that you're going to go on out there, then the first thing that we would advise you to do is have a family discussion.
That's right.
Before you even leave to go out into wherever you're going, whatever campground you're doing, whatever activities you're going to plan on doing, you need to sit down and you need to have a family discussion. Because before you get out into the world and everybody else and their expectations, you need to set your own expectations. Because every family is going to be different. Every family is going to have a different comfort level of where they're at. Your family is going to be different. And so you just need to make sure that you're all on the same page before you even step foot out on that trip. And so the first thing to do obviously is for those parents to sit down and make those decisions.
Yes.
Make sure you're on the same page,
yes.
because I mean more than likely you're not going to be. More than likely one of you is going to be there's going to be a compromise,
right.
Of exactly how close are we going to get to people. Are we going to wear masks all of the time? Are we going to go into any public places together? Are we just going to send one person into the grocery store? Are we going to do any national parks? Are we just going to do hikes where we're by ourselves? You've got to figure all that out.
Right.
And set those expectations beforehand, because you don't want to be trying to do that on the fly.
No.
You want to make sure that you've had that discussion between whoever the adulting figures are in your unit, and then especially, we're all about family. We've got a big family, and so if you do have a family, the next really important thing to do is then to sit down and talk through that with your kids. And I think one of the important things that we found in talking to our kids, we've got one teenager traveling with us, but the bulk of our kids are 9 to 11, younger. But old enough to talk through some of this. And so one of the things that we found that's important is really to make clear to them that, this is not your fault. This is not our fault, but it is our responsibility. So when we're talking to them about wearing masks in some places, this is not your fault. You haven't done anything wrong, but we have a responsibility to even those that are around us.
Yes.
And one of the things that's been helpful to us is we've reminded them that, those that are most at risk are elderly, like our grandparents. You wouldn't want your grandparents to get sick, would you? And so we're helping other kids' grandparents when we do this.
Yeah.
So our number 2 is definitely to sit down and have a really good family meeting before you leave.
All right, so our number 3 tip would be to call.
And call some more.
And call some more, because I will tell you, you really need to communicate not just with your family and what your expectations are for your family,
but everywhere you're going.
And you will find that even if you go on to the website of the campground or the activity that you want, it is not always up to date.
Things are just changing too fast right now.
Too fast. And it's really going to get frustrating for you, and thus you're going to be frustrated when you get there, and you're going to probably kind of spill out to people that are really just trying to keep their businesses open. They're trying to do their very best. Call the campground. Call any activities that you are planning on doing. Make sure they're open. Check the hours, because many people are abbreviating their hours. And make sure you know what kind of guidelines.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I would say we really haven't found, since we left shelter in place about 3 months ago, really haven't found anything that was completely closed, but almost everything has limited amenities at their campground, or they have limited hours or activities at like the national parks that we went to, even state museums, local things. They all were open, but they all had caveats. And you're not going to know that if you don't
call. So make sure you're communicating with your family, make sure you're communicating with your campground, and make sure you're checking on your state, county, and city guidelines. Do your research before. Be prepared. It's going to be great, but you really need to do your research.
And actually, you can probably help us out, our little community here. Why don't you leave down in the comment box what you found as far as how many things are open and how many things aren't. If there's stuff around you that is closed, like, hey, this is normally open all the time, but it's closed, or look, we haven't had any trouble, leave that comment down there.
Or your favorite
you're
places.
in, where you're at, and how much you have found or haven't found to be open, and that way we can kind of help each other a little bit here.
That would be awesome.
All right, so our number 4 tip is talk some more. It's a lot of talking in this.
It is.
But that's really a big part of it. Communication is really the key to all of this right now. So have that same level of open communication with your neighbors when you get to the campground. Because
so
you have had your family discussion, so you know where your family's at. But we can go ahead and tell you, the family on your left is not going to be the same place that you are, and the family on the right is not going to be the same place that either one of you are. They may be very small differences, but everybody's going to have some little nuance. But you don't know that if you don't talk to them. And so, I feel like, 6 months ago, it would be weird probably to walk up to somebody and ask them, can you explain to me a little bit about your germ factor, exactly where you at on the germ fear scale? But you know what? I think that's the time that we live in right now. Clear up those expectations, dissolve out all those assumptions, and find out where those families are. If you've got a family beside you that's got some kids, you need to go and just talk to those other parents and say, hey guys, we're just wondering with the COVID stuff, where your family's at. Here's where we're at. And you're not trying to push your agenda on them. It's not like you're having a debate. You don't want it to turn into that. All you're saying is, look, we this is where we're at. We're just wondering where you're at, because we want to make sure that we're having our kids honor where your family's at as well. So this is one of those good times where you're not trying to be confrontational. You're just being informational. We're not having a debate about masks. We're just asking where you're at.
How can we be respectful
of you?
That's right.
And allow you to be respectful of us.
And communication right now is vital. I think the more we talk, the more we communicate, the better we understand each other, and the better we can be better friends, better campers, and better neighbors.
So number 4, talk to your neighbors.
All right, so our last tip, number 5, is to have fun.
Lots of fun.
Yes, if you're a part of our channel, you know that our 3 top tenets are faith, family, and fun. And so at the very end, we want to wrap this up and say, have fun.
Because there's lots of fun to be had.
There is lots of fun to be had out there right now. We have done things like last night, we had a movie night. We made little pizzas right here in our own kitchen. So we had a pizza night right here. We turned on a brand new movie, and we had that here going on. We all curled up, and we made a special dessert of some peanut fudge brownies. They were so good. And so we had a fun night all together. Even though we were in our camper, even though we're right on our campsite, we made it fun. So we found ways to ride bikes, to take walks, but we do it in the way that, number 1, is right for the state mandate and the guidelines that are set before us.
Not right for our family
But right for our family. And we're still having crazy fun. And I think we have done that. Maybe it's not the same crazy fun as you and I had pre-COVID, but you can find creative ways to make this time memorable, to make your family a priority. And at the very end, we have hung on to our faith because things are changing, but the Lord does not. And so we've began to pull our kids back to what we can be thankful for, the fun things that we can be grateful we are doing instead of all the things we can't do. Let's think about today, what can we do?
So there's our rundown of kind of how we have seen, traveling full time in the middle of this COVID, how it's impacted us, and the tips that we would give you to where we feel like have been the most helpful. And it really all is about communication. So that first one is to go. Don't let fear stop you. There's plenty of open stuff. There's plenty of fun to be had out there, but realize that it is not a completely isolated community. COVID can come knocking in a campground too, so you have to still be aware.
Yes, be careful. Be
Number
safe.
2 is to have those expectations set with your family before you leave. Make sure you've covered all that with your family. Number 3 is to call, because everything right now has different hours, parameters, and limitations.
And they're
you just
changing
need to know
all
what
the
those
time.
are.
Yes.
And then number 4 is to talk to those around you. Make sure you understand where they're at and they understand where you're at so that you can help honor each other. And then finally, just have fun, because there is tons and tons of fun to be had. And really, right now is probably when we need to be having the most fun with our family, because there's so many things that have been taken away from them, especially our kids.
So true.
This is such a time that they need that therapy of laughter and family time. So
yes.
go out and find it. So we hope these things help you to get out there, whether you're already out there or whether you're planning or thinking about should we get out there. Load up that camper, head out. If you're not camping, find that activity. Really, all of these same things can apply to whatever you're doing right now, even if you don't have an RV. But we would say get out there and have some fun.
Be safe.
Just be safe.
Be smart. Be cautious. Do your research and have some crazy fun with your crazy family. And hang on tight in these crazy times to your crazy faith.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.
So if you found this video helpful, give us a big like so that you can let us know that it's meeting your needs, and let others know that it's helpful as well. If you're not a member of our channel, you'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss any of our crazy faith, family, or fun as we head out on our epic adventure. And then finally, if you missed our last video, you can catch it right down there as well.
And don't forget, let us know what you're finding is crazy fun around you, that's open, that's safe. Share that with our community so that we can also have some fun together.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.